This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Welcome back to One Nation Radio Part 2. We went a little long on our all-in review, but we still had plenty of stuff to get to in the world of professional wrestling this week in WWE and NXT. So we just gonna start with the NXT TV reviews, and I got some notes here as well as some results to go over. First, James, what'd you think of this episode here?
Thought it was a good episode. Thought that main event was a killer match. Of course, I do like the fact that we're going to get, I believe, next week, Johnny versus Dream, which is I think their second match, right?
Yeah, they had a match earlier this year that was really good.
Yeah. That wasn't like at the end of last year. That wasn't because that was in Atlanta, right? I think
it was at the very beginning of this year.
Okay, yeah, that match was great. So, like, I love to see them do it again. I wish that they, sold more of the fact that he dislocated his kneecap after Wile E. Coyoteing his ass off of that stage, that ramp, like a moron. And then they, whatever. Let's move on.
So
I'm excited to see, and I'm also excited to see who done it.
Yes. It was the first show of the new tapings. Percy, Nigel, and Morrow opened with the whodunit, showing the videotape and Regal going around being a cop. Johnny Failure was out.
This man on some First 48 shit.
Yes, we need to find who done this. Like people get jumped in wrestling every day. Come on, man.
People out here dry stitching too.
Yes.
It's just like First 48.
We gonna get to it. So Johnny Failure came out with the crutch. John Gargano came out with the crutch with no music, stealing Tommaso Ciampa's music. He said he didn't deserve us having his back. There were dueling chants whether he deserved it. Bunch of jackasses in the background were making jokes to pop themselves. He said he lost more than the match. He lost himself, and he doesn't know what to do. In Brooklyn, he became Ciampa and can't get him out of his head. He doesn't know what the audience wants, and he has to be better for everyone. Regal came out. He looked like a concerned parent who has to bail his child out of jail. And he asked Johnny if he attacked Aleister Black. Gargano says, "You tell me," as if he's so above and he ain't got to answer William Regal when he was the first motherfucker that was walking away from the scene of the crime. After that, Velveteen was out, and I thought, this ain't exactly what Gargano needs right now, because next to Velveteen Dream, the average man looks regular, but even like Gargano in the state that he's in right now, Dream will get you booed. And Velveteen was tired of melodramatic Johnny, and he said basically tonight should be about the experience, and he coined the Johnny Failure name. From there, Gargano smacked Dream with the crutch, and they announced Johnny versus Dream next week, and last time they ran it was great.
Yes. So, questions. First question is, what the fuck is Dream wearing? Like, I understand he wears ridiculous shit all the time, right? He wears ridiculous stuff all the time. What the fuck was this? He's shirtless with slacks on, with suspenders. They're on suspenders. They look more like a tie, and they're not actually suspenders. Like, and they actually go from the front to the back. They wrap around like the belt loops in the front, and then go through the first like the side belt loops. They come through the first front loops. They go around his neck, but they're not actually suspenders. So, fuck is going on? What does this do?
New shit.
What is he wearing, man?
New shit. And then he has something on his head too. Like,
but you know him, like he always has something on his head because it's he always has something on his head, and that's fine, like type of rapper beanie type thing going on. But I didn't understand the suspender get up. I didn't get that. I didn't. Nah.
Can't trust them new dudes. Yeah, man. So first,
but here's the thing. Like, yes, he is a new dude because he's only 23.
Yes.
So he totally is a new dude. However, like the stuff that I've seen, his aesthetic has always been him trying to replicate parts of stuff from the 80s that was hot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what touch this was. Like, what is, like, I don't, whatever. I guess you just move on.
Yeah. So, the first match that was announced was Aaliyah versus Dakota Kai. Undisputed Era was backstage and Kyle O'Reilly was playing air guitar while not even recognizing the camera was there. That was excellent. Dakota Kai's music is hard. I'll give her that. Dakota Kai has called herself the captain of Team Kick, James. So I asked James, what the fuck is Team Kick?
I don't know. All I know is that that corner boot she has that's cool. Like it's similar to the Mafia Kick that Sami Zayn does, but right. She changed her finish. Like she does like this backbreaker thing now, like almost like a
inverted back cracker. That's what they said.
Okay, but it kind of functions as like a code red or a Canadian destroyer turn or a code red, whatever you want to call it, turned into a separate finishes with a like a inverted back stabber deal, whatever. It was cool. It was nice to see her get a W. It was nice to see what her finish is in NXT as opposed to like just having to remember what she did in the Mae Young Classic because it's been so long since I've seen her actually pick up a W. So that was nice. Yeah. Maybe we can ungeekify this talented woman.
So Aaliyah has been in NXT forever.
Yes.
I believe you said this was not your Aaliyah, James.
No, this is not my Aaliyah. Like she's had so many different like outfits and gimmick changes, and we've been talking about this since like the NXT special, right?
Yeah, Breaking Ground.
ESPN, like that documentary. Yeah, like it's been around since that she's been trying to find herself. And I mean, I like the outfit. I thought the gear is there. Just like she's been around for a minute. I don't know. I think we're at her ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, there were dueling chants about her, whether she sucks or not.
Yeah.
They were talking about educated feet. I'm tired of that. She sat in a waist lock, for a waist leg lock forever in this match. Yeah. Dakota Kai got whooped on for a while. Kai took control with a couple kicks before Aaliyah cut her off, and then Kai hit her finish out of nowhere. I'm just glad she's not doing that Balor stomp anymore because you can probably break an ankle doing that. And as James mentioned, it was a code red into an inverted back cracker. Yeah.
So as far as the Aaliyah thing is like, they didn't have no vision for you for real when they only gave you 2 A's in your name for Aaliyah, as opposed to the 3 A's that are required to be a superstar.
Correct.
Like the Aaliyah that we were given for a short time we had her. So
the only Aaliyah there is.
Yeah. They sent you out into the world to go out there and just be okay, and that's where we are. So,
boy.
Yeah, I she's gonna get called up, isn't she?
I don't know, but it's right up the alley, for sorriness. So after that,
she ain't gonna be shamed because she's not blonde, but like she'll get called up.
After that, Regal and an attorney were interviewing some folks, and he was in the back at his desk, and he had the brass knuckles on the desk to let any of these young punks know he will whoop their ass if they step out of line. I thought that was a nice touch.
Well, I was trying to figure this out because it was just on display. So, like, was that just like was that just like having a weapon on deck, or was that the murder, or was that the quote unquote murder weapon?
I think this is just part of the Regal aesthetic. You know, he always had the power of the punch throughout his whole career, and he let him know that punch is still there, even in his advanced age.
Okay, gotcha.
So a couple Largo Loopers were out there with him, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, and they asked for an opportunity as they were being interviewed, and they have a tag team match next week. All of a sudden, EC3 is on the ground in pain, and Lars Sullivan is shown walking away, and this was revenge for dry condition. It is not safe in NXT.
No. It is this is an unsafe working environment. Shawn Michaels?
Yes.
So yeah, like, you know, you come out here, you think that, you know, you have the freedom of speech. All right, you have the freedom of speech. You also have the right to get these hands. And Lars, you know, went out there and clobbered that man. So he was, you know, he was in the top 1% of motherfuckers laid out on the floor. So
yes.
Congratulations.
So the next part was Nikki Cross. She was spinning in the chair in Regal's office like a psycho, and then laid on the desk and laughed. All of a sudden, Bianca Belair invades, and she basically said, "Hey, I want my title match, and I want to know." She was wearing a shirt that says, "No, you cannot touch my hair." And then Nikki Cross touched this girl's hair, and Bianca was like, "Don't touch my hair." James,
Yeah.
a white woman tried to touch Bianca Belair's hair. Bianca Belair is the heel. How the fuck is this? Is she the heel? Am I missing something?
Like, if they explain this as being that Nikki Cross is a fucking kook and she don't be following nobody's rules, then you can explain this away. However, for me watching it and you have a white person touching a black woman's hair, I'm just like, uncomfortable. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. And, you know, it made me think of, I want to say about, I can't remember if it was a year or a year and a half ago, they had Naomi in some type of angle for like 1 or 2 nights or 1 or 2 weeks where somebody was like messing with her hair in a match, and she basically said, "Don't touch my hair," and she basically fired up because they touched her hair. And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And it seems that we're like, you know, I guess, you know, all these ideas are just get spewed out, and I guess this one finally got picked up by Triple H or whoever else is running NXT. Like, how about this? We're gonna do a gimmick where some people touch a black woman's hair and then she fucking snaps off on her. And I mean, we'll see how this goes. I hope that I really hope that it doesn't become
a thing.
Her character doesn't become her character because you know, WWE doesn't really do nuance or character that well. People are more taglines than a actual full-fledged human being. So hopefully that doesn't devolve into, you know, stereotype bullshit.
Hopefully she is not her hair.
Yeah. I said a whole paragraph and you summed it up in one sentence. There you go.
Word to Indy Irie. So after that, EC...
Is that the first time we ever mentioned Indy Irie on any podcast?
I believe it is. Okay. Yes. New shit still happening on One Nation Radio all these years later. Just when you think you know the shtick, you don't.
Oh my God! Wait till we get some of our viewers or some of our listeners, and they be like, "What the fuck is an India Irie?"
So EC3, he was supposed to face Raul Mendoza, but as I mentioned, he was on the ground for dry snitching. So Raul Mendoza came out to his mid-2000s Pitbull theme music, and instead Lars Sullivan came out and he let everyone know that he kicked EC3's ass. And unlike Aleister Black, this was no mystery. And then Sullivan came out there and dragged Mendoza, who is a good wrestler. I look at Lars Sullivan and I feel like this guy would have been a force against Bruno Sammartino or the Von Erichs or something like that. But this is, I don't know, bro. Lars, I don't know where where he quite fits in. When you get to the main roster, it feels like he'll get a run in the beginning and then they'll lose interest.
Lars, I don't know. You're right. Like, he's going to be a monster. It's going to be built to a certain level. I don't know what the level is. Obviously, I don't think that the ceiling is the Braun Strowman ceiling of he's Andre the Giant / Undertaker / Kane / Big Show. But I think maybe his ceiling is maybe like the first year Rusev.
Right.
You think that? I think that's
fair.
But I don't think like you can do anything. I don't think you can get any higher than like he brings in a fucking tank and he has a match with like the top guy in the company on the undercard because we're trying to push we're trying to get a new top guy over by beating him.
Yes.
At the end of the night.
So after that, we had a Ciampa promo in the dark part of the building to match his personality. It was filmed on the cell phone, and he had the NXT title with him, and he made a promise to himself after being injured a year ago. He kept his promise, and he said he now holds the biggest prize in sports entertainment, and he claimed that he was the best sports entertainer in the business and for Heat, and he said no one will survive what happens next. We'll just have to see what next is.
Yeah, I think that he broke kayfabe.
Why do you say that?
Okay, so dude's a dick, right? He's an asshole. He's a jerk. He's a terrible human being.
What
right?
kind of dick? Like the gun, or just like regular dicks, or like
he's an asshole. He's
okay,
a jerk.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what jerk is turning in their cell phone for the hand to their employer to go ahead and grab a video for? Because
he also has music now. Apparently, I heard a rumor.
No, I'm just saying,
there's
like,
music coming for him.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I thought that was a very good promo. It's actually probably the best cell phone promo that they've done since, like, the one that Mojo did to get himself over, which they immediately shot the jack and then, like, not let him do anymore.
Yep.
But I'm thinking, like, dude, like, this guy is a terrible human being. He would never let the company have this because he's a jerk. That's all.
Gotcha.
Small thing, but it was a great promo.
Right. Look at James saying nice things about Tommaso Ciampa.
No. You have never. I don't think you've ever heard me say that he's a bad wrestler or he sucks. I've never said that. He's a great wrestler. However, I hate his guts. I may, I have my biases, but I at least like try to have some credibility.
Yeah. So after that, Keith Lee was out, and he was taking on a guy named Luke Menzies. So Luke Menzies, this must be one of those 150 guys at the PC that they're talking about, because he looked green as a Celtics road jersey out there. Keith Lee off rip opens with a Hurricanrana, and the crowd went mental. Menzies looks like when you get nice with the graphic logo maker in the video game, but your dude is still regular. Menzies with no other notable offense than just clubbing Keith Lee. This was a total Keith Lee showcase. I love the Spirit Bomb, and as I told you previously, James, I take that as when he drops your ass, the spirit rises the fuck up out your body.
Yeah, man. Like we gotta get you some culture, man. Like Dragon Ball Z is a thing, and it's real out here, and like a lot of his stuff is based off the Dragon Ball Z thing. And granted, like, I mean, it's a cool story because obviously, like, it's kind of like the same position. Like, the Spirit Bomb, your hands are held overhead, and then you drop something or whatever else. Same thing as like an elevated, like the last ride power bomb thing that he does. So, like, or sit out last ride thing that he does. So, yeah, like it definitely fits. I'm actually kind of surprised that they let him keep the name because they don't kind of like don't want to do the whole something else is branded, someone else has a trademark possibility. I wonder if they had to look through that or whatever else, so they just like ran and not even thinking about it, don't even know.
They'll probably change it on the main roster or something.
You think he gets to keep it on the NXT, but then has to change on the main roster? You think so?
That could happen.
All right, well, whatever. I mean, I thought this was a more impressive showing than his first match on NXT against the German guy. I forgot the German guy's name.
Yeah, Axel Dieter, I believe, was his indie name. His name in NXT is Marcel Barthel. Marcel Bartel.
Yeah, I thought this was a much more impressive match. He did a lot more in this match, and I think that he should probably be like completely just crushing people, but.
You think he's fucking off in matches?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like this match, the first match, was more or less like it was kind of weird, but now I kind of figure like maybe his thing is like his gimmick or the story is he's so awesome that he doesn't have to try hard, and then that gets him into trouble, and then he snaps out of it and realizes I need to get out of here and get this match over with. So I thought it was a nice little match. That's all.
Yeah. So from there we got our main event: Ricochet and Pete Dunne versus Undisputed Era. So this ended up being Adam Cole and Roderick Strong instead of Kyle O'Reilly. Mega pop for Ricochet when he came out. The real NXT champion, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
And immediately I thought, can we get Ricochet versus Dunne? And it seems like that's where we're headed. On this show, we do not read the spoilers ahead of time, so we're watching NXT week to week. So please do not ruin that for us if you happen to write back into the show. Adam Cole looked absolutely furious when he saw Ricochet, like, with the belt. Like, he couldn't stand the sight of this man. Undisputed Era came out looking like pricks. These guys are awesome in their entrance. It's all clicking for Undisputed Era right now. Ricochet looked over across the ring and said, "I don't see your belt, homeboy," and everybody started chanting for everybody. And for me, it was like, wow, there's not a single tag in this match that you don't want to see. Like, you know, sometimes when you see the tag team matches, and then there's like one dude that you put in there, and he ain't really the guy that you want to see wrestling. Like, this match was 4 guys that everyone cared about in the match.
Yes. At first, I was kind of like, or I don't say but I was kind of like, damn, I really wanted to see O'Reilly in there.
Yeah,
and then once he basically tagged him out, I was like, okay, fine, they're telling a story, and obviously Cole's a bigger star than O'Reilly. I just thought, like, I just wanted to see, like, this awesome match. That's really all I was really concerned about.
Yeah.
But it furthers their storylines for every single party member, like both, like the tag team in Undisputed, Cole, Bate, and also Dunne, and also Ricochet. So I thought it was great. And it was also a great match, and I can't wait to see how I can't wait to see the allies erupt, because, you know, North American champion, UK champion, like, it appears that they both want each other's belts now at this point. My only issue with this whole thing is, like, I think that Ricochet has to take it down one or two homeboys. He's saying homeboy a little too much.
Ricochet doesn't. I watched a video of them backstage. Ricochet's not a great shit talker.
No, he's not.
From what I'm seeing,
he's not, and that's why I mean by he's taking down one or two homeboys. Because, like, that's.
Like, so the only thing I would say with Ricochet is, like, he's almost seems like too nice of a guy. And when he does the shit talking, it kind of feels unnatural. Yeah, like
it's not the same exact problem as Alistair with the being soft spoken. I take Alistair to be more thoughtful, and a man of few words type of thing.
Right.
You know, it's like a calm in front of the tactical storm, right? On the other hand, with Ricochet, it felt more like the soft-spokenness came from a place of nervousness.
Right.
So, like, once he gets a little bit, you know, if he gets a little bit confidence under himself, which is like, you would think a guy that can do the stuff he does in the ring, you have all the confidence in the world. But, like, once he gets more confidence on that, I think, like, I won't even pick up on that. I won't even pick up on that part of just like, it kind of feels uneasy here.
Right.
But yeah, like, I can't wait to see that match.
Yeah. So after that, it looked like there were going to be Undisputed Era just whooping all their ass, essentially, and there was a miscommunication that led to Cole pinning Dunne with the last shot. All of a sudden, the War Raiders came in to make the save. Undisputed Era got up out of there, and they announced next week Johnny Gargano versus Velveteen Dream. Kairi Sane will appear on the show for the first time since winning the title, and also the Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, are booked in a match on the episode. So that is your NXT TV review. We will be back. Unless you got anything else, James.
Do you think they bring him in there to get ran over and mowed down by the Raiders?
Who?
I think that sounds like what's going.
That might be it.
Guys.
That might, yeah. Like, that might be it.
Like, yeah, we want a match. All right, I'll give you a match. You will go one.
You will go 2-on-2 with the War Raiders. Run it. The next thing we got to talk about is Neville being released by WWE finally from his contract. After all this time, this guy's contract was frozen, and he asked for his release. He couldn't get it forever. It wasn't a situation where he could quit, as some people may have led you to believe, because if he had quit, he would have been in court because he couldn't wrestle anywhere else because he had the rights or his rights were being retained by WWE under contract. He was finally able to get his release, like Cody Rhodes was before, and he is pretty much available to wrestle anywhere now immediately. This is awesome. James, what do you think about Neville hitting the scene again?
I would love to see it. I think that Neville is one of the very best wrestlers in the world.
Say that again.
The entire world, Craig.
Say that again.
I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, Craig. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't wait for whatever he does next. And I mean, I don't know if he goes back to Dragon Gate or if he tries, New Japan, or if he, maybe he decides to come back to WWE for all we know. I mean, I've heard some talk that they were get him out of his deal so that he can sign him to a main roster deal for more money because of some of the issues he had with being on 205 Live and being off of, and by being on 205 Live, that meant that he was off of the main cards of shows and didn't have spots where he could actually have matches to on house shows and whatnot and stuff like that. So his pay was less than what he was expecting. So that was also a big issue. So I'm interested to see what he does next. Like, I hope he goes somewhere where I can see him often. That's all I can say.
And I think that's a main point of the thing. It's like, this is bigger than a guy just quitting a job he didn't like. He was essentially like getting fucked out of money. Like, so how 205 Live is set up, and James mentioned it, was they get one program on the tours, essentially. Like, they get the champion and whoever his challenger is going to be. Once Neville wasn't the champion anymore, I imagine he went to WWE like, all right, can I go back to Raw or SmackDown now? Because obviously he knows the game. Like, none of those other guys are getting to come on the tours with them. They're not getting matches on pay-per-views, which means they aren't getting residuals, which means they're not making the DVDs or anything like that. That all these extra revenue sources. So all he was probably going to get was his downside. Neville, I imagine, was like, fuck that. Like, and why wouldn't he be? Like, this is not, like, he doesn't owe them anything.
Yeah, especially after the run that he had. Like, I mean, we talked about it until he hung it up on him. Like, he was on pace to be the wrestler of the year. He was the front runner at that point in time when he hung it up, and I think it was either October or September. And I hope for the best, and I hope that I hope that I really do hope that we see him soon, whatever capacity, because he's been so quiet for so long.
Yeah,
you kind of wonder like what his side of the story is, or if he, and obviously, apparently, maybe he doesn't want to tell us his side of the story, but it would be nice to see his face and just be able to be like, okay, everything's good or whatever else, because like being out of the spotlight when you're that kind of talented, like you kind of wonder like what's going on. And right, like, what if we see Neville again all of a sudden, like he looks like a normal human being for a person his height, as opposed to like looking like John Cena and instead of looking like compact John Cena. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like you're like, oh, what's going on here? Like, you off the gas? Man. I just hope for the best.
Yeah, man. Like, so apparently he attempted to get his release before, but the word was WWE wasn't going to release him because they didn't want to set a precedent where guys under contract can walk out and go to New Japan, which I totally understand. And that was the rumor on where he was headed. But Neville re-enters the hottest pro wrestling scene in 20 years. Hopefully he has somebody advising him on how he can make as much money as possible, because it is out there. All right, man. The next thing we got to talk about is Kevin Owens. So, in what was one of the hotter angles coming out of Monday Night Raw, he was our Wrestler of the Week. If you want to hear us on our Lords of Pain show, where we give out the LeBron James You Bum of the Week, and then we have the Wrestler of the Week. Kevin Owens was the Wrestler of the Week, in part for his match against Seth Rollins, but also the angle where he looked everyone in the camera in the face, and like Bret Hart in 1999 in WCW, he was like, I quit. And, you know, where do we go from here, as they say, James?
I don't know. All I know is he came out and he said that things haven't been right since I gotten to Raw. I am, last year was hell for me because I was on SmackDown and I had beef with Shane, which is very, very true. Like, that SmackDown run was a very substandard run for Kevin Owens. And because a lot of that is not his own doing, because he's out here getting these matches are getting these weird finishes, and for 6 months he was stuck with the anchor that was Shane McMahon, and the whole cloud over SmackDown. There were two clouds. It was one was gender, and two was Shane and Owens and Sammy and Daniel Bryan and everybody else that got sucked into the vortex, whether it was AJ or it was Randy Orton or it was Nakamura. Yep. But besides that, he says that things aren't right. I don't have my buddy Sammy with me, and it reminded me of how you always talk about the Golden State Warriors whenever like they lose one game. He's like, "Hey man, something ain't right." Ever since they got the ring, like something ain't right. It's just like, but this time Kevin Owens is actually for real. It's like something ain't right. Like I want to lose this streak. Like I'm getting my ass kicked left and right by Braun Strowman. I'm a coward now after like being presented as a bit of a strategist and a tactician that picked and choose his spots and was smart about it, was a prize fighter. And it felt like after he cut that promo, it was more or less like him saying, like, I'm done with the goofy shit. Like, I'm back to the real. I'm back to being the Kevin Owens that everyone loved to hate. And he pulled out a match. I said it to you on Tuesday night that,
all right, we had some technical difficulties, but James, you were saying about Owens had a type of match that reminded us of how great he was.
Yeah, it reminded you that like he's one of the very best in the company, and like that guy should be in the main event at the main event level consistently through the rest of his career until there's eventually a decline, which always comes because of age. But yeah, and then I feel like because the way he's been getting his ass kicked and by Strowman, and the way that he just lost that epic match, and the way that the crowd, obviously it's some of the Canada connection, but the way the crowd heaped some praise on him after the end of the match for the effort, and he leaves. I think this might be pointing towards a babyface turn. I don't know when, but I think like next time we see him, it might be something to that extent.
So that would make all the sense in the world, James. But since this is WWE, I feel like they're going to do the exact opposite for some reason. And I think that would just be a colossal miss. And we'll get to it more with the Strowman thing. I feel like, and I've always felt like this, Owens is a guy, he was on that list along with someone like Bray Wyatt, where if they were turned face, they could become the hottest guy in the company. And WWE does not want that, especially on Monday Night Raw. Because anyone that becomes a hot top-level babyface, you're going to get either slotted underneath or you're going to get turned so you're not a threat anymore, in the case of Strowman, essentially. What I would like to see with Owens is a babyface turn. Don't get it twisted. And it's long overdue. He's so respected. He's so great in his role as a face, or as a heel. If you take him being a face and being an everyman and being an inspiration, like Kevin Owens can do whatever. This is obviously one of the most talented guys in the world. I hate to see him marginalized and used as a setup guy for Braun Strowman the whole summer just to turn Braun Strowman heel, and then it almost feels like you have nothing like to explain with Kevin Owens. So I feel like this is essentially a way to press the reset button on him, and it sucks that he has to quote unquote quit for them to figure this out. And it's obviously a storyline. People don't think he's showing up anywhere, but I think he's definitely one guy that has a monster babyface run in him, and I'd love to see it because he's immensely talented. Up next, we got to talk about WWE Hell in a Cell and the matches that have been booked for it. So we've got Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman in one match, and we've got Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton in the other match. I don't know why they're doing this. They decided to put the number 4 feud on SmackDown in this feud and in the cell, and that's not even like, that should tell you how strong SmackDown is right now. That they have 3 feuds that are better, and instead they're getting this feud in the cell. I have a couple of theories why. They've already got one WWE title match in the cell with Strowman and Reigns, and I don't feel like they want any competition on, or argument of who should go on last. Even though they've treated AJ Styles like a second-class champion for months, they have a whole storyline where Samoa Joe is out to embarrass this man's family and make him look bad in public, and the last match with them ended with AJ Styles whooping on this man with a steel fucking chair in front of his family in Brooklyn. And this isn't the match we're putting in the cell, everybody. Keep in mind, Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton don't have a title on the line. All they have is a long history that people ain't really excited about, even though they're doing good work in this feud. You have Randy Orton pulling on an earlobe. You have Jeff Hardy putting the guy through a table. You have a bunch of weird, whack promos from Jeff Hardy. You've got Randy Orton with a heel turn, gets to go in the cell, and I don't know. I'm lost, James. What is this?
Yeah, I am too. Like, do you think Randy Orton, when they told him, "Yeah, we're going to put you in the cell," he's like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't. I haven't mutilated myself enough in this freaking company. Like, what was his last Hell in a Cell match? Was that 2015 against Cena?
2014 against John Cena.
14 against Cena. That's right. Okay. Yeah, man. Like, that. Okay. Like, I understand, like, Jeff apparently has always wanted to do Hell in a Cell or something like that. Like, I hope he doesn't, like, do something to doom himself because, he's crazy. I don't know. I think the match could be good. I don't know if the match could be good without Jeff doing nothing stupid, though. So that's what worries me.
Look, Jeff Hardy ain't nothing but a glorified Joey Janela. Like, at this rate.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, take that to the bank. Hot take for the week.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? So what else is on the card? Like, I think that the Braun and the
should that be a Roman match?
I think the Braun and the Roman match is appropriate because, like,
yeah,
we all I always talk about it. Like, Roman, you can say what you want to about Roman, about this, that, and the third, but you can't. But one thing you will never be able to take away from Roman is that Roman made a guy. He made Braun Strowman that over that feud at beginning of last year. Now, as I've always said, I don't want to see no Braun. Don't give me Braun Strowman regular rules match. Give me Braun Strowman, no rules matches. Give me Braun's rules, which is there are no rules. Anything can happen. So I'm expecting this man to to rip the cage in half like he's Kane. I have expected him to basically flip over the whole cage on the fans.
Yes.
I'm expecting something epic.
Yes, I think we're going to see. I feel like Reigns isn't losing the title or anything, and we're not making predictions yet for this show. But when we talk about car crashes and big fight, like dangerous stunts in WWE, I think we're going to get all of that. We're going to get the tables. We're going to get the chairs. We're going to get the falls. Roman Reigns getting thrown through something. Just the jaw dropping, like all the gimmicks, all the dicks out there.
I'm also wow. Okay, I don't have to follow. Okay, I'm also expecting a run-ins from Ziggler and Galloway, McIntyre.
Oh yeah, in the Hell in a Cell. Yeah, of course.
Like it's gonna turn into full-on gang warfare out there. Like they out there on the yard. And, we gonna have a Hell in a Cell
yard match. A yard match.
We gonna go. Yes, like now. my question is,
The little homies.
Does Roman Reigns enter first or last?
I think he enters.
Who has the first or last entrance?
Shit, I would think he would come out last because he's a champion, but
Now, what I would do is I would have Roman come out first, so that Strowman can come out last and do the old Undertaker where he closes that door behind him.
it's me and you in here.
Yes, that's what I would do. Somebody has to take that tradition of I'm closing this gate, and somebody gonna come out of here. I don't know who, but I'm making sure that it's only gonna be one of us.
Yes,
that's what I want.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella in a mixed tag, and I don't know, I hate it. I just hate it. Like, bro, I am so tired of mixed tag team matches this year. I watched the whole mixed match challenge. I watched WrestleMania with these folks. I saw the SummerSlam pre-show. I saw the matches on Monday Night Raw. I'm sure they've done a mixed tag match. Now this one, it's like, bro, all this is reminding me of how much fraternizing there is in the WWE workplace. And also, just how many times do we have to see the same fucking match? Because they're all the same.
Yeah. Well, this is what I will say. It is fun to see that, like, it has been 3 years since the revolution started, the women's revolution started. And we're right back where we started with the Bellas, where they came out, and when they started the three teams, the 9 women, where they had Team Bad being heels, we had Team PCB, sorority sisters, whatever they decided to change their name from because it was the same thing as a porn site. And then you also had the Bellas plus Alicia Fox. And the Bellas would vacillate between heel or base based off of who they're wrestling. So if they're wrestling Team PC, if they're wrestling the minorities, they're baby faces. If they're wrestling the new girls in Paige, they're chasing after the belt, then they're the heels. Now Brie Bella is back, and she's getting booed. She's out here getting booed everywhere she goes because she's around her sister, because they know about that match that's being talked about. And then she comes out there with her husband, and then she gets massive pops for Brie Mode and all that kind of stuff. So Brie Bella is back exactly where she was 3 years ago, around this time, the same time, in the summer of 2015. Time is a flat circle.
Yes,
we will be doing the same things that we were doing 3 years ago, today and tomorrow and into the future.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm glad they announced the Daniel Bryan and Miz match for the WWE Super Show. And excuse my voice, I've been battling a throat issue all week.
Sick boy?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But
how long?
Bitch, you dumb.
You might want to go get that checked out.
Nah, man. But with like I said, I wouldn't light them up too much for the mixed match challenge. I'm just so fucking tired of these mixed tag matches. I don't know. Daniel Bryan, it feels like they're not giving Daniel Bryan enough right now. And Daniel Bryan isn't looking like a strong babyface that everyone wants to cheer. And I don't know if Miz is like just playing into this shit, going off book, essentially, because he's got like the juice right now. But Daniel Bryan's not being like handled the right way, like as far to make people go crazy over him.
Well, that's also in part because, like, at this point, who would actually really want to boo the Miz like that? Like, yes, we boo him because like his job is to get heat at this point. Like, but outside of
does he need to get more heat on Daniel Bryan?
I mean, I don't think this thing's gonna fully work until Miz becomes champion and like challenges, and then like Bryan has to like win Royal Rumble to get a title shot because he has officially said that I would never wrestle you again. That is the way you can tell the story. I think that story
is basic.
I'm not really I think that story is very, very basic, and Vince don't like to keep stuff simple. He doesn't, and he also doesn't like taking layups. So I think that he'll scrap that in somehow, some way, and burn through all these Daniel Bryan mismatches like he already has planned because just got one at SummerSlam. They're about to do one at they're about to do one in Australia, and then they're going to do one 2 weeks later as probably the final blow off for this iteration of this feud at SmackDown 1000. So, you know, in theory, or it's rumored. So, like, we could be through with this like real soon. Or this might be the end point, then we start this back up somehow, some way in January. But like I can't imagine them doing having 4 matches like that of that kind of significance that far apart. Unless it's Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. I'm just nervous about what they're doing with Daniel Bryan. I haven't heard, like, September 1st has come and gone. He's still being advertised for a million things. Haven't heard anything about him signing a new contract. Who knows what the fuck is going on right now? But yeah, they've got Rousey and Bliss announced also for the Raw Women's Championship. As I mentioned on the other show, I have no interest in this match. This needs to go 10 seconds. Fuck out my face. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Singles match for the title. I think this is going to be, they need a finish, and I think they need to switch the title right now.
Yeah, there's enough time right now in the calendar before we get to the road to WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff to where you can get the title on to Joe, you can have a run of some significance, and then move on from there if that's not what you want to do. So definitely. I mean, on the flip hand, I mean, for Daniel Bryan, if you ask me, James, you get to choose his WrestleMania opponents and you get to set up a program. Number 1 would be AJ for him for the title, and number 2 would be Joe for the title. You have the ultimate heel versus the ultimate babyface, and good will conquer evil. However, this man is not a fan of good conquering evil because he's a billionaire, and it ain't a lot of honest ways to come by $1 billion. So. And also, you look at his TV and the history of all the ridiculous stuff that goes on it, and he's kind of been the curator of that kind of stuff, and that's his art. That's his artistic vision. So there you go.
Yeah, man. And there's a match with the New Day. They'll be taking on somebody for the tag team titles, so we don't know yet. But
who do you want it to be?
Oh, the Usos.
Again?
Yes.
That fast?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Or the Bar. I mean,
it's one of those two options.
Yeah,
it's one of those two options. But I kind of feel like the way it's gone, that if they're going to do Usos and New Day again this quick, the New Day have to turn.
You might be onto something there.
But other than that, like either one, like they're going to tear the house down if they're not given stupid time frame or stupid finish, like they'll tear the house down. So
be like, first match of the feud, we gonna do a double count out.
Yeah, like worst case scenario, we get a great tag match. Woe is us, right?
Oh yeah. So yeah, man, we're gonna be back. We got 2 more topics to talk about. This is One Nation Radio. So WWE Evolution, it has come out that the tickets are not quite the hot seller that folks may have thought, and I don't know who we're attributing this to. There was a lot of jokes on Twitter announcing that Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus match was not it as far as the ticket moving deal. Of course, Ronda Rousey's been linked with Nikki Bella as this, thing that they're trying to get people in the building for, and would be this massive draw between, the mainstream star of Ronda Rousey against their other mainstream star of Nikki Bella. Maybe people don't give a fuck about that, James? Am I off base here?
Yeah, I think obviously, a lot of this stuff is a learning process. And I think a lot of it is that what they're going to possibly learn is that maybe, I'm just speculating, maybe the thing is that the people that want to see the women succeed and the women to be given an opportunity to wrestle and showcase their athleticism to the best of their abilities are the diehard fans, and the casuals may or may not, and the casuals are more or less indifferent or don't want to see that. I think there's a distinct possibility that the people that want to see this the most are actually their diehard fans that they don't want to ever cater to, and they might be learning that.
Yeah, because if they think we want to watch Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, they have another thing coming. With a murky
and
future.
Also another thing is like if you want to get the women in there, if you want your female base to get in there, your female base, they don't want to like. They're okay with this.
It's not enough for a celebration. Like fuck a celebration. Like
yeah, like the women wrestling fans want to see women have kick-ass matches that they can showcase what they're actually up to, as opposed to like all the stuff where like the governor's on and there's only like the ceiling is only but yay high unless you are Sasha or Charlotte who can somehow, or Asuka who can somehow supersede that thing, as opposed to this is more or less a slight like a half-star better version of, or sorry, a quarter-star better version of what we were doing a decade ago in WWE. Yeah. I don't think anyone wants to really see like just a okay
here's y'all
women's
show.
pay-per-view. I think we want to see a great pay-per-view from women, because for so long they have been told and have been made to not be able to go out there and have those kind of matches. And when they could have for years.
And so I was talking with my homeboy Dan Coffin. What's up, Dan? And he was like, and we kind of came to the thing, like, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the whole thing has been like, hey, the women can't do this. They can't draw or whatever, and WWE will set it up to where they fail with it and be like, oh, we're never going to give them a shot again, when they didn't really present it how the fans actually want to receive it. Like, they want to see like a Sasha versus Charlotte match on there. They want to see Ronda versus somebody that's not Nikki Bella. They don't want
Asuka.
Ronda versus Asuka. Like, if you put that on the marquee, they've got the legends coming back, and that's cool, but you're out here billing that first with like a Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss match. Like, that's an internet section.
In 2018.
Yeah, that's a section of the fans that want to fuck Alexa Bliss, that have come up here like, hey, she's the next Trish. Like, that's what that is. Like, that's not a wrestling match that people that will draw money and also critical acclaim. That's neither of those things, as we're finding out.
Right. And granted, that is a match that if it's just a man's going to do it, like stuff like that's going to be on the card. However, the top build matches you've had for this card so far seem to be like your main event and your semi-main event are these matches that like these are not the matches that people like thought about when they first did it. And then granted, like, yes, we do always fantasy book ourselves into being like unhappy with whatever Vince ultimately comes up with at times, right. But you have so much talent at your disposal. Like, don't just rely on the blow away matches come from people that like a lot of the fan base does not know because it's on NXT or it's on the Mae Young Classic, which you shelled out to us last year, 4 at a time each week. Like, it needs to be something. It needs to be more. It should have been more well thought out, but it appears to just be It's WWE as opposed to trying to present stars, trying to present
look what we have.
Trying to present a product and then placing people in spots without any concern for the future or making as much money as possible or doing something as creatively as I can't even think of the word.
Stimulating.
I'm on the word. Creatively as fulfilling as possible.
Okay.
There you go. Fulfilling. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out the word fulfilling, but there you go.
Yeah, and if you're like someone that's listening to this and like, damn, Rich, why are you putting people on blast for wanting to fuck Alexa Bliss? We know y'all out there, like, just keep it a buck. Like, but it's the thing, like...
all these women are attractive, so so who cares?
Right.
Like, if that's your thing, and like one is like, and two is like, this is a fake sport, and these are athletes in this fake sport. So like, can we worry about the sport first and worry about the other shit later? Like, that's the reason why we get ourselves in this trouble for why we have like the Baron Corbins of the world and all these like tall motherfuckers that can't work or talk or have nothing but height working for them, and Like we end up with end up with an inferior product because of that, or a lesser product. Like WWE could be would be a lot more satisfying if it's focused on are you good at talking? Are you good at wrestling? Are you good at being able to convey a storyline or emotion? Are you able to connect with the crowd? And then the other shit move off to the side, and we can get ourselves a better product. I think everybody would be able to, or more people will be able to get into, as opposed to we make stars, but not really, because we don't care about wins or losses or long-term booking outside of a handful of things or less.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how they've respond to their advertising and, the 50 women and who's going to be used where. And I think that's a lot of the concern that's coming right now. And it's like, hold on. So you have like those quote unquote 3 rumored matches, right? Or one of them announced with Trish and Alexa, and then Rousey and Nikki, possibly Asuka and Lita. It's like, where does that leave Sasha and Bayley? That's the 4th match? Are you serious? And then if it's not the 4th match, it's the 5th match because it's not a title match. Like, so.
Yeah. And also, you got to figure out, and of course, like, we're going to have, like, Charlotte's going to be on this thing in some major capacity. We don't know what it is yet. And just like you mentioned, the 50 number, right? So NFL rosters have a 53-man roster, right? And I think about more or less how WWE does their things. And they want to be the NFL of wrestling so bad, where they don't push stars, they push their logo, their shield, and whatever else, and whatever agenda they have going at the time. Where it was Revolution, now it's the Evolution, and like it's this nameless, faceless thing, and there are no stars, and everybody is completely just totally replaceable, except for Rousey, I guess, to an extent, but everybody else is literally interchangeable pieces on the chessboard. And like, dude, like, I understand that's not how you present stars. Like these people are just all geeks except for Rousey because she was a star somewhere else.
Yep. So it's troubling on what's happening with Evolution. And as I mentioned on the show last week or the week before that, we're going to come out here and talk about the show that we are given, like when it happens. Yeah. And I'm not about to come on here and lie to y'all and just to prop up, what the WWE's lofty, ambitious goals are to do with the women right now. Like, I'm here for the quality. And if you can't respect that, your whole perspective is whack. Maybe I'll be better it'll be better when I fade to black.
Yeah.
And the last thing we got to talk about, something we're probably not going to have to come on here and lie to you about, the Mae Young Classic. So I think this year, looking at the field, we have so much to look forward to. I believe the show gets started Wednesday night after NXT, so we will incorporate the weekly Mae Young Classic coverage into this. I'm largely unspoiled. I know who's in the finals, but as far as like the other matches, I'm not really too sure. I watched the bracketology. James, did you get a chance to check that out yet?
No, I did not, unfortunately, and I'm probably going to fire that up after we get done with this podcast. I need to, because like that was one of my Mae Young Classic last year was one of my favorite moments of fandom all of last year. Like, I enjoyed watching like Kairi Sane for the first time and going through that run of matches where like every match is a great match, and Piper Niven and her like her run of her little stretch of just being just awesome, and seeing like the star level and the star power that is contained within Toni Storm, and to see what a badass Shayna Baszler is for such a young wrestler to just be able to put over like that era of toughness. And like I just loved it so much, and Mercedes Martinez like feeling like she will cut you and without a knife. She'll cut you without a knife.
She'll cut you with her bare hands.
Cut you without a blade. Like she looks that tough. She looks so tough. Like she looks like her kids got charges, got bodies.
Damn.
Her kids. Damn. Like she's like I just love the show so much, and I'm glad it's back, and I think it's better for the show that is going to have It's going to come out in a weekly presentation like the CWC. So I kind of sense that I wanted to like just binge all of them, but that this is better for more eyes to see it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's go through the bracketology. It was about a 45-minute show. It was really well done. They had a couple different interviews on there. Casey Catanzaro was on there. Tony Storm was being interviewed. Nicole Matthews may have been interviewed. Lacey Lane was interviewed. Io Shirai got a profile piece, I believe, on there. And there were a couple more. I can't remember all of them. Rachel Evers, I want to say. But yeah, check it out. And we're going to go through the participants real quick. So, representing, we'll say the country there with USA, Errol Monroe. She calls herself Big Swole. That's absolutely hilarious for 1,000,002 reasons.
Yeah, that's a real insider joke, boy. That's a real.
Yeah, it's so inside.
Like they come out. Can't even explain it. Yeah. Like I'll say this: like if next year there's a big red, I'm gonna know something. They're like Vince got like boots on the ground. Yeah. Like Vince got like intel. Vince been Vince the Patriot acted us because they done went through all of our lives. But yeah, let's just move on.
So after that, Allison Kay, formerly Sienna of Impact Wrestling. I think she was better a couple years ago, but we'll see what she submits in the Mae Young Classic. Ashley Rain, who was Madison Rain, who was getting all these checks. She got a check from All In. She was in the Ring of Honor, and she's here in WWE. So she's, whenever somebody can get these checks, unless you Jeff Jarrett, I'm gonna come out there and salute you. So because Jeff Jarrett has done this through scheming, through not looking people in the eye, essentially. So. After that, we got Deonna Purrazzo, who was supposed to be an All In, on All In, and she's back in the tournament, and she had a nice piece talking about she wasn't coming back to WWE unless she was hired, and she finally got hired. So good for her. Hiroyo.
Yeah, also, very, 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 very good technical wrestler. Like me and you saw her match in person at the was that Shimmer 100?
Yeah, Shimmer 100 against Madison Eagles.
Shimmer 100 over WrestleMania weekend against Madison Eagles. It was a like her technical wrestling is off the charts. Like she's great.
Hiroyo Matsudo from Japan. So I think they wanted to bring in another Japanese woman just to say, hey, we're not all of them don't go to the finals. So I think this is like to throw you off the scent. Did you get that vibe, James, or am I just putting this on you now?
I never thought about it, but between Miko and Io, it kind of they kind of have to advance pretty far because they're kind of awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So they wanted to beat somebody early. So this is probably what's going to happen with Hiroyo, but we've got, of course, Io Shirai, who Shorty Elo, as we call her.
Shorty Elo Shirai. I didn't know you were going to do this.
So there's a lot of people that are just being introduced to Io Shirai, right? And some sites are writing about it. And, the way the capital I looks and the L, what people see, I don't know why people would think a sentence or a name would start with a lowercase letter. But sometimes they think her name is Lo Shirai, right? But it's Io. EO, motherfuckers, like, as Sierra would say. So we drove Sierra crazy the other week, and I went ahead and grabbed Shorty Lowe's They Know and set it to Io Shirai highlights of her just doing insane shit and tweeted it out. And, you can find that on my Twitter. But yeah, Shorty Elo. Are you excited to see Shorty Elo, James?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait.
So they have Isla Dawn from Scotland. Don't know too much about her. I feel like I've seen her a couple places, but looking forward to see what she does. Jessie Alaban. She's been in the Performance Center for a couple years. I remember at the Largo Loop a couple years ago, she was doing security along with I forgot who it was. It was some big dude, but. She was like, who did you guys come to see? We were like, we didn't really know. So we came to see you, and then we, had a conversation with her, and here she is a couple years later. So we'll see what she has. She's been on NXT on the Largo Loop for much of the last year. This will be her first real exposure to a wider audience. Ginny is coming from England, and she will be taking on Toni Storm in the first round. So that's probably a short stay for Ginny. But I don't know if you've ever seen her before, James, but I've heard good things about her.
No, I have not seen her before, but I mean, we'll see, because you remember, like, a lot of the Mae Young Classic last year was, I don't know, and then the main event comes, you're like, yo, okay.
Yep.
It was very much set up kind of similar to the NXT style of, like, we're going to have great main events. And so if she's in with Toni Storm, I'm assuming she's in the main event. So, be on the lookout for a great match. So
Casey Catanzaro, American Ninja Warrior. James, there's a couple gifs going around of her. You're going to love her. She's a ridiculous athlete. Like, in the most, like, she's about 5 foot tall, and she's one of the best athletes this country has produced. So, like, she's the first woman to complete the American Ninja Warrior Challenge, or course.
Wow.
And she's a freak athlete, and she's like 5 foot tall. I think she's going to be really exciting for folks.
Okay, so I'm assuming, like, she does a bunch of crazy gymnastics and stuff. So to be able to do to be that height and to also complete American Ninja Warrior, like, you have to be you have to have some acrobatic skills. So I've heard people talk about, like, she kind of has a reputation of being kind of way ahead of her game, kind of, or being like such a supernova of an athlete. So I'm excited to see what she does in this tournament.
We got the return of Caitlyn after 4 years gone from WWE. I like Caitlyn back in the day. It's gonna be interesting to see how she evolves, into how things work now. I believe she has Kavita Devi in the first round, so that's gonna be kind of a tough one. But
you know what that match is?
The old what is it, James?
That match ain't nothing but like a setup for like eventually whenever Beth Phoenix comes back and gets her match with Nia Jax, it's like, oh, we have this incredible powerhouse, and they have to go up against like a giant or a giant. So, like, there you go. Like, Do you think that Caitlyn is going to have to sell that her baggers her from trying to get somebody up for a body slam? Because I think
oh my god, I think she's going to press slam her.
That could happen.
I think she's going to press slam her.
Because like Caitlyn's a strong woman, and Kavita, like, she's well built too. So I think she can help anchor that. I think that we're going to see some straight out the 80s or early 90s when they wrestle. That's what I think.
Yeah. So Kavita Devi, obviously, also Nikkei's from India. She did insane YouTube viewership on her stuff last year, much higher than like anybody.
Yes. She is also one of the women that when we saw the introduction last year, the 32 women, and they all introduced them. She's one of the women that I thought, like, Vince is going to take one look at her and then, like, bring her up the next day if he sees her. Yeah. She's like, oh my god, like, you're like 5'10", you're 5'10" with physique, you look like somebody, just slap the rocket to you.
Yeah. So they kind of resisted the urge. I think everyone was terrified they were going to put her with Jinder Mahal.
A lot of people thought that.
So up next we have Karen Q, representing China and the United States, and she's matched up with Xia Li, I believe. So they've got that whole dynamic there. I believe Karen Q is a pretty well-respected name, like, within the independent circuit for the last decade or so.
With Xia Li, right? Like, how much work has she gotten since because she was only up in WWE for like maybe even a few months in her first few matches. Her first match was on the Mae Young Classic.
Her first match was last year.
Mercedes.
She's been on the Largo Loop.
Mercedes, right?
Yeah, she's been on the Largo Loop a lot.
Okay.
She's a great striker and pretty athletic. So we'll see how far she's come in this past year. We got Killer Kelly from Portugal. I believe she is getting a round one match with Miko Satomura. So could be a short stay.
Hopefully the match is good though.
Yeah. Lacey Lane, so she's a former basketball player, and she's repping the United States, so it'll be interesting to see what she does. And she's got the long dreadlocks, so she has definitely a unique look. She has some type of like thing with her eyes. I don't know if they're contacts, but they're definitely a unique color. Supposedly she's a really good athlete as well, so we're gonna see it. We got MJ Jenkins from the United States. I believe she's from Brooklyn. She was trained by the Dudley Boys. There's a lot of like Dudley Boys trained women in this tournament, I noticed. And I don't know who she has in the first round, but after that we've got Meiko Satomura, who everyone says is this living legend. So James, can you enlighten me, sir?
She hits very, very hard.
Good enough for me.
Like we always talk about old man strength.
Yes.
She has old. I don't want to say that. She has mature strength.
Yes.
She's built like she's a powerful woman. It's going to be fun to watch her like clobber some of these girls. It's going to be fun.
And I believe she's been in the business for like 22 years. So I'm really looking forward to it. Mercedes Martinez is back. As James mentioned, I've seen Mercedes Martinez several times in the past year at Shine. I was terrified to look in her eyes. She ain't playing no games. She's from, I believe, Waterbury, Connecticut, which is real rough out there.
So I've seen her wrestle, I think once or twice at Shine before. The next time I see her in person, I'm going to walk up to her and apologize. For what? I don't know. Just apologize. Yep. I'm sorry.
Yep. After that, we've got the return of Mae Young, who is back on the WWE radar. And if you heard anything about the spoilers, she made a really big impression with her performances. I'm not sure who she wrestled, but we saw her over WrestleMania weekend. She's one of the more talented returners. Glad she got a call back. What were your thoughts on Mae Young, James?
We've seen Mia a bunch of times, especially when she was doing the tag team thing with Leva Blue Pants, for those that don't know. But on Shine, and like she's always been one of the more straightforward, talented in-ring technicians that we've seen amongst the years we've been going to Shine. I think we've been going to Shine for on and off for how long? What, 3 years now? 4 years?
3 years, yeah.
Yeah, plus, the Mae Young Classic, she did solid work in her first two matches before she got eliminated. I think the match she got eliminated was the match against against Mercedes, and that match was well put together too.
Nah, she fought Shayna. Yeah.
Shayna? Yeah. That's right, Shayna. Yeah, that was the first good match Shayna had on the tournament. Yeah, so like, if she comes back, like she's one of those women that like, because it's WWE, they have this long-standing history. You don't know how it's going to work when it comes to with her being signed by WWE or more or less after that part being pushed to any type of level. So, but she was clearly a person that had the talent once you get past the bullshit. So, if she gets signed, I'm really happy because she deserves to be there because she's that damn good. But I can't wait to see what she did in this tournament because like she's very good.
Nicole Matthews, come from Canada. I believe she's about 6 foot tall. She had a video package saying she's pretty much wrestled all the women on the main roster. It was like Bayley, Becky Lynch, Sasha. I think she mentioned she wrestled, and she should have been here a long time ago. She says, and she looked like she has a no shit mentality. So Nicole Matthews is someone to watch out for as well.
Sounds like a great story.
Yeah.
And I don't say that sarcastically. Like that sounds like a great story to introduce a character and build them up, and I can't wait to see what happens. And like that's one of the things that I enjoyed so much about last year's tournament was the fact that like you got to get a glimpse in more of a story as opposed to a tagline, which is like, I'm Alexa Bliss, I'm a mean girl. I'm Bayley, I am a child. I'm Sasha. I'm the boss, and all those character traits. Like that's the whole character trait. Like that's a tagline. The end. Period.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like Charlotte. I'm the queen. The end. As opposed to I'm the daughter of maybe the greatest wrestler of all time, and there's a huge burden on me because I've had other family members try this thing and it didn't work out for different reasons, and I'm actually holding up my end in the bargain, and I'm a success story so far. Like that, we don't get that about Charlotte. Charlotte is just woo. That's the whole tagline. Woo. So that's why I'm so into the Mae Young Classic last year, and given what you told me, like this year as well too.
Yeah, Priscilla Kelly, and if you guys notice there's a resemblance, we call her Lil Paige.
Lil Paige.
She's got very unique offense, I'll say that, and she's a unique, like you got to see her. There's really no way to describe it.
Do you think she's going to wrestle with the piercings?
Yes.
Okay.
I say this in like just the weirdest way possible, kind of, or she's about that nasty shit. Like as far as like what she be doing, like there's like a gif of her in the ring, I believe, and she was like licking like the belt, or she was doing something and it was disgusting. Like, but she's really popular. Let's say that. And she's on the Florida Independents and everything like that. So Priscilla Kelly, Lil Paige, watch out. Rachel Evers, so she's back. I feel like they're going to give her a big push, and I don't know necessarily how good she is, but she was trained by Lance Storm. She had kind of a match last year with what's her name, Marty Bell. That was a disaster, and they switched to finish in the middle of the match and put her over instead. Not sure how her style will really go off, but we'll see what it is. She's got a long backstory.
It's been a year. She's been wrestling around. Like she's been in Stardom lately. So like, I would assume that she has gotten better since the last time we saw her a year ago.
Reina Gonzalez, she's 6 foot tall. I believe she's of Mexican descent, but she's from Texas. Like that Eddie Guerrero special. So she's actually an American. So. And she's been working the Largo Loop for much of the past year. She's kind of got like a woman Stan Hansen thing going on as far as the Texas stuff. So you guys will see that.
Talking about the chaps.
Yep.
Talking about the chaps.
Yep.
The chaps.
The chaps. Yep. And we from there. Okay.
Is she okay? The last time you saw her, is she doing more than just squeezing?
Yes, she is.
Okay, I'm glad she's out of this phase of just squeezing, because she was doing a whole lot of boa constrictor ass shit.
Yeah,
bear hugs, holding it, like like it was so weird. Remember, like Sierra told us how good Nicole Savoy was, but she had just recently blew out her knee, and she was coming back, and she had a big gaudy knee brace on, and then she had that match, and I think the first round with Reina, and I was just like, I don't know, and then. We see Nicole versus Mercedes, and was that main event?
That was the main event.
Shimmer 100.
Yep.
The main event of Shimmer 100 is like, yo, I have to apologize for Sierra for down her, and why the hell would I doubt Sierra when she's almost always right when it comes to this woman shit, because she writes thousands of words about this thing all the time. Why the hell did I ever doubt her? Of course, this woman blew out her knee, and she had this match with this green woman. So yeah, like hopefully for the best. She's gotten better over last year.
No Nicole Savoy. Now that you mentioned that, wonder why. Up next, Rhea Ripley from.
Probably like you ruining my price for me going out having these matches with this green woman thinking people don't think I can work.
We got Rhea Ripley, who is, and I don't think this is a spoiler because WWE said it themselves. Rhea Ripley is the NXT UK Women's Champion. She won that belt, but this was obviously taped before that. She was one of the standouts last year into the third round. She's a looks the part all-star who is the part also.
Yes. She lost it.
And switched her look dramatically this year. She's not just the tall, pretty blonde woman anymore.
Yeah. She looks a lot more serious and less bubbly than she was before. She was out dressing like in the Saiyan gear and indie shows or whatever else, and the Super Saiyan armor and indie shows or whatever. So, all right. So I remember last year thinking like she was going to get a really long run. She got a decent run, but like, I did not know how renowned or how beloved Evie Dakota Kai was, or by the folks, and then Dakota beat her, and it's like you had this skinny wimp beat her. I can't. It just isn't. And then like Dakota gets to the main roster because she deserves to be, because she's that good. And then, like, the whole gimmick with her and Shayna, or the whole storyline with her and Shayna, was like, she's a professional wrestler that is terrified of another professional wrestler in wrestling. Just like, yo, like, you couldn't make her look like such a dork to people that are just, like, in and out on your product than this, period. And so hopefully, we can move past that. We can get Rhea a deeper run in the tournament, and hopefully see what she's been working on over the last year.
Yeah. Tainara Conti from Brazil won a match on NXT a couple weeks ago to qualify for this tournament. Very unexperienced, limited experience. Yeah. They like her though. They like her. So she's gonna get another shot. Yep. Judo. Yeah.
No. 2 belts. She comes out with the gi in the belt and it takes off the gi. It takes off the gi in the belt to display to you another gi. I'm sorry, to display to you another belt underneath the gi in the belt. She's 2 belts.
Unbelievable. After that, we had Tegan Knox, who suffered a big injury, unfortunately, and it was really sad seeing her. What she gets a profile piece on the bracketology show, and it's just like, fuck, it's gonna happen again, because she talks about coming back from the injury and everything like that.
She missed the tournament. She missed the Mae Young Classic last year because of the injury, and then like she ends up late in the tournament, she ends up hurting herself again. So, and I mean. There was word that like finishes end up getting switched because of the injury, so we don't know, how far she actually was going to go. But
there was a rumor she was supposed to win the shit.
Right, and which would have been a shocker considering who the 2 people that I thought were like the locks to be in there. It's kind of similar to the locks that were last year's tournament. The 2 finalists were kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. As you see, like at Brooklyn, like, oh yeah, that does make sense because look at them. It sucks because she got hurt, but like, hopefully she can rebound and give it another run at this thing or whatever else. And if she was supposed to win this thing, like maybe she gets another run, or we'll see. Like if they thought that much highly of her, she should. If they thought that highly of her, she'll make it. If she'll make it.
I hope she gets a chance to come back, because just fucking up your knee time and time again, that's got to be really tough for your mental, like your confidence, like working on those injuries, and she's got to stay in
rehab.
This pain after rehab, staying in shape after that, because you can't run or anything like that. So yeah, man, hope everything works out for Tegan Knox. Up next, we got Toni Storm from Australia. We're definitely Stormites, Stormettes, Stormoods, however you want to say. Stormtroopers.
I would say Stormtroopers, but those are space Nazis. So
yeah. Yeah, man. Toni Storm. She had a bunch of great matches last year. She's been all over the world. We saw her over WrestleMania weekend. She's everything you want. Yeah, go ahead.
Want me to tell the story?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you leave out of Shimmer. She's not in the main event. You leave out of Shimmer 100, and all the indies, obviously, they're selling their merch at tables. The line to get to Toni Storm was so long. Like, it had to be at least 50 people in front of me. And I ended up, because, y'all know I'm a bigger guy, so I actually was trying to buy her shirt off Pro Wrestling Tees in time for the trip to New Orleans. But I was like, you know what? It's coming up too close to that date. I'm just going to buy it there. I actually literally walked past the 50 people, walked straight up to the table. Tony, she looks at me. She's just gorgeous woman. And I don't know why I said that.
Look, sank your heart.
Yeah. So I said, like, do you have a shirt in my size? Do you have a 3? She's like, no, I don't. I was like, damn, great. Now, I came out here. I procrastinated for no reason. So still ain't got the shirt, but yeah, I'm gonna go get that shirt, because I thought like the Harley Davidson logo was dope. But like, it's like you look at some of the other women around that are indie greats, like some of their merch is not on point.
Yes.
Like to see someone with merch on point was like, you have to get that while you can, while the getting is good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's several people I want to give my money to who shall remain nameless. That their merch just wasn't where you would think.
You out here trying to sell the fact that you're a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man. Like, I want a Gun Show shirt.
Yes. You know who you are. We love you, Gun Show.
Yes, we do.
After that, we got Vanessa Craven, Monster Amazon Woman, another one of those to go with Kavita Devi and I believe Reina Gonzalez. So Vanessa Craven, we've seen her at Shine. She's a good athlete. She's probably here to just get knocked down though by somebody.
Yeah, probably.
Xia Brookside. Now, James, I've heard you refer to certain women wrestlers as absolutely adorable. Throw all of them out. Xia Brookside is absolutely adorable. Like I don't know if you've seen her yet, but bro, this is like, oh my god.
I heard that she is the newest prodigy to come along. She's a second or third generation or something like that. And like she's like 19 or something like that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Like we gonna see. Like if she, we'll see. I'll just turn it on and I'll enjoy it. Like, but I have a hard time imagining anybody is more adorable than Kyrie freaking Sane.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. She's got Io Shirai in round 1, so best of luck. We got Xia Li, as we mentioned, representing China, and she's been working Largo Loop much of the past year, so it'll be interesting to see where she's grown. And then we have 2 women, their names start with Z's. We have Zatara and Zuxis, coming from Chile and Chile and Puerto Rico, respectively, and I don't know much about them, so we're gonna leave it there. But yeah, man, so Mae Young Classic, I think this year we might be on pace, for excellence here. Our broadcast team, we have, of course, like Beth Phoenix, with Michael Cole, Renee Young.
What?
Yeah, Beth Phoenix, Michael Cole, Renee Young is the commentary team.
Okay, so, all right, we're good because Cole is, we've seen Cole when he's not doing main roster stuff, and he's been good all right. I was like, wait a second, huh? Like, I would have preferred if Morrow did this, but whatever. Like Cole without Vince in his ear is good. So
yeah.
And Renee, Renee's very good, and Beth works hard. So I think this is gonna be a good announced team and straightforward presentation. Not gonna be any gimmicky bullshit. So yeah.
Did we just do like 2 shows back to back, James?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Two full shows at y'all back to back. Don't say we ain't never do nothing for y'all.
Yeah. Like we the real people's champs.
Yes. And then we, mind you, we've got our show coming Tuesday night after SmackDown, that will be going up on the Lords of Pain radio feed, that is doing great already. So thank you guys that have crossed over and listened to that, as well as keep checking for us here on One Nation Radio. I believe there's going to be a lot of all-in coverage coming to you from pretty much everyone on the network. We'll get our review, or you should already see our review on the network as a kind of a part 1 for this episode. Listen to that one, then listen to this one, and then check us on Tuesday. So we're taking up a bunch of time in y'all lives, but make sure that you guys are dropping all your ratings on you guys' platform of choice. It's the only way we're going to reach more people is with your help. Make sure you check out The Outsider's Edge, Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, Keepin It Strong Style, and Grown Men Watch This Shit. And, of course, all the shows over on Lords of Pain, along with ours, for our TV reviews, which will just probably progressively get more hilarious by the week as we get, more experience doing this. But, yeah, man, it's a little different. I think you guys will like that show as well if you haven't heard it. James, anything to say before we get up out of this piece?
I don't know. Have you looked at the 5-point preview or the preview for Raw tomorrow?
I haven't. I know Shawn Michaels is going to be there though.
Yes, and also
the sexy
Undertaker
boy
may show. Yes, and Undertaker may show up as well, and it's going to be the first time Shawn's going to be on main roster television without long hair ever. So it's end of an era, the real end of an era.
Again.
Shawn Michaels no longer the sexy boy. He is now the gruff old man. He is old man. He is old man Michaels.
Unbelievable. I think I'm just going to refer to him as the sexy boy just for comedic measures from now, until whatever, Shawn Sexy Boy Michaels,
Wow.
But yeah. that's going to wrap it up for us. Thank you guys for listening to One Nation Radio here for these.
Sorry. One more part of the preview. I just remember the Bellas are back in action for the first time in years or whatever. So that too. So, yay. Are they gonna beat the Boss Hug Connection, or are they gonna face off against the Riot Squad? Which one do you think?
They're fighting the Riot Squad.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
they ain't got no problem sending Sasha and Bayley go out there and take a L.
Yeah, and we'll see Nikki Bella be getting booed, I imagine. So look out for it. Yeah, but that's gonna wrap up the show. Thank you guys for listening. We are up out of here. Peace.
Later. Watch them check out their rating this coming Saturday, or not Saturday. It's coming Tuesday, and they're gonna be like, I don't understand. I thought we told everybody that Nikki and Brie are gonna be wrestling for the first time in years. I don't understand why no one wanted to stay and watch.